JOST as a second home within India after your first plant in Jamshedpur. How important is this new facility in Chennai for JOST?
I would say we have different perspective for JOST. And the perspective that we say we increase our global footprint. That's the first perspective, which is very, very important. It's our second plan for the agriculture in the Asia area. And being in India, we have already one plan for the transport business. So we go in a new segment, which is already the second pillar in the JOST at all. In our business segments, we go with the second pillar to the Indian market. And I mean, there are 1.3, 4, 5 billion people are living. So the agriculture will be once a day a potential for us as well. So by saying this, it's important for the Asia region, it's important for the Indian, and out of a JOST global perspective, it's a big step for the global footprint what are we setting. And when we talk about India as a location, in the moment we're doing the plan for the agriculture, we have had today the inauguration. We see it also to some extent as a good potential for us getting. I mean, we heard today that 2/3 of the people are younger than 35, so it's a good opportunity to catch up competence, eagerness, not only the industry, what are we doing? It could be IT, whatever we are doing, which kind of services once a day we have to give as well in Asia, in India, or globally. So out of this perspective, we see a huge potential in having a second plant in India and having the plant in India. And having India in Asia.
Fantastic, right. Globally, we're seeing the Asia Pacific region grow in importance for many reasons. Of course, within the commercial vehicle space that JOST operates in. How important is this region for JOST globally from a strategic point of view, from a growth perspective as well? Can you share a few details?
We cannot share. When we look, the JOST world is structured in three areas. We say Europe, we say EPA, where Asia is in, the biggest part, and then we have North America and a little bit Brazil because we have the joint venture, but now probably our CEO has told you we have had the M&A. But the biggest growth out of the economical, organic growth, what we have today, we definitely see in Asia. Yes, definitely. On the transport side, but also on the agri side. So pure organic growth. There's huge potential in. Yes, and we see when we look backwards, I'm staying now for 5 years in Asia, when I see the development out of the innovation perspective on the transport side, how it has developed in India, where we are today, but also when you look to China, still of innovations has been still going on. So there's a good potential for us in. And I think, we as JOST have a big benefit. We are staying in Asia for more than 30 years. And we have had always our philosophy, do the business with locals. So I think trying to get to understand the culture by using all the additional upcoming benefits which are given by the country is a good potential and a good base for us.
Fantastic, right. And whenever we talk about Asia, I think there are two names that immediately come to mind. You already mentioned them, India and China.
Yeah. Right?
How important are these two markets within the Asian sphere? And also, what about markets beyond India and China for Asia? Because we are seeing some Southeast Asian countries become more important.
Yeah.
Can you take us through, India, China, other Asian markets?
Let's start maybe with the ones where we have started as JOST originally, and probably the first own legal entity in Asia. This was China. We started in 92. So we have a good footprint in, and our thinking and our strategy is we have to be in China, and we will not leave China. There is, in my understanding, when we look into the market, there is no discussion about this that we ever will leave China. We as JOST had maybe to some extent also a big issue, a big benefit by saying 95% of the production what are we doing in China has always been for the local market. And the Chinese market is the biggest heavy commercial vehicle market in the world. Yeah. So of course at the moment maybe economy is not growing in a level than it has been done before, but it will come back. So definitely I think JOST would be good staying there, and we will stay there. When we look to the real growing market at the moment, and you know this very well, when we look to India the last year, this year, the next year, I think this has the highest potential out of percentage-wise of growth, driven by organic growth, but also to some extent maybe we have to see and to observe that some investments which would have been done maybe in the past in China are now done in India. Not saying that people are leaving China, but the additional investments are done in India. And this maybe links also a bit to your question, which kind of additional countries, when we look out at the Asia perspective, we see some potential by being in the market. That's definitely Thailand. They will have some additional growth, and I think to some extent Vietnam. It depends always on the kind of business where you are in, and I think we should not underestimate Indonesia. And what I think when we talk about Vietnam and Indonesia, the knowledge of the people, the school system, the university system is still on a good level. So there are hungry, eager people in. There's a huge of potential in. I think so. Yes.
Fantastic. Right. And lastly, an outlook into the future. I mean, you head JOST business in the Asia Pacific region, right? What does the medium to long term look like, and what kind of growth are you looking for your business, in the Asian Pacific region?
Let's say when we look out of a midterm perspective, let's see the next 2-3 years. Of course, we would like to grow a little bit more on the transport side. There is here and there still some potential in, especially on the trailer side. And then there might be some innovation coming, whatever driven, regulation driven, autonomous driving driven. There is some potential in. When we look to this, what we just do here at the moment, the agribusiness, definitely we see a high opportunity and benefit, and let's say opportunities, especially for us in the market. If there might come up something different because something is changing in the market, the end customer is changing or whatever, we don't know at the moment, but we are ready to take the chance when it's coming there.
Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you very much. Anything else that you'd like to add that I have not asked you in particular?
What might be maybe interesting for you, when I came to China or Asia for 5 years, and I listen now to the market, that the aftermarket, the service need from the end customer, driven by total cost of ownership, driven by I cannot afford to have 2 vehicles in the back just there's a breakdown to send another one out. This is getting higher and higher and more important. And what is also interesting to see, I have been in Wuhan on the CVS show 2 weeks ago, and here I was really surprised that people are going for original equipped products. I mean, in the aftermarket. In the past they only have bought a lot of fake or whatever cheap products. No, people are really looking reliability, durability. So I spent maybe a little bit more at the very beginning, but in the midterm perspective, the lifetime is longer. This was really interesting to see. And when I talk a little bit to the salesman here on the truck side, the same voices are coming. It's about reliability. This is maybe something I would like to add, because this is really, let's say, I would say a move in a different direction we had 5 years ago.
Right. So just taking a cue from that, what is JOST doing to strengthen your presence in the aftermarket space? Any particular strategy to ensure that your products are available across geographies in the aftermarket, so that the customer gets an option to get your product instead of landing probably a cheaper product or a fake product?
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? This is, I would say, a global strategy. We work on the OE side, we work on the distributor side. Distributor means for us also to work with service partners. And parallel, we as JOST have established, especially also in Asia, a service team. We are doing this in India, we're doing this in China, and this service team is going out, giving training to the end customer, giving training to the workshop, giving training to our service partners, because at the end of the day, when we talk about aftermarket, the service partners are out much closer to the end customer than we can be. So what we are doing, we try to train the service partners to give them the ideas about which kind of basket they have to have in form of spare parts, etc., so that they can help in the moment the end customer when there is a need. And of course, we also go to the fleets to tell the driver how to use, how to maintain, how maybe to check this and that, to just to switch from this to that. So we give a lot of support function. And this is finally, I think, why the end customer likes to buy a JOST product.